Warning: the following episode of Triple XP may contain spoilers about the true identity of Santa Claus, and therefore, it is strongly recommended you not listen to this episode if children are within earshot. Let's be real, you should never let kids hear us anyway. Merry Christmas, Grinches. Ho ho ho.
Triple XP.
Welcome aboard. On this week's episode, we are joined by a very merry bunch of idiots as we celebrate a Christmas special. This is Triple XP. Welcome to the latest Triple XP. I'm Shane. I'm joined by the usual co-hosts Mike and Cheese, but we also have an extra bunch of guests in the form of Jedi, Camp, and Ryan.
And Ryan.
Well, welcome along, everyone. So we've for everybody listening, we've pulled these the bunch of extra guests along from our Triple XP team because it's Christmas and we want to talk about Christmas and have a good fun group chat about all the fun things that people get to do in December. Why are you all staring at me like I'm mad?
You kind of just stopped mid-sentence, I thought.
Jesus is looking at me like, what's going on? Why am I here? I'm just here to press record. Don't make me talk.
I mean,
but yeah, there's obviously there's been, as we just discussed before coming onto this recording, there has been a lot of nerdy media going on and sort of things we could talk about, but due to spoilers and not wanting to ruin anyone's Christmas, we're not going to be talking about the likes of Spider-Man and anything of that nature. There might be bits of news that crop up, but on the whole, it's more of a friendly chat about Christmas. And so I'm going to kick off the conversation because this is one thing that has intrigued me and I've yet to ask. Is that your only tree, Jedi?
Yes.
In the entire house?
So yeah, we didn't have time to go get a tree this year. Probably not going to, just because of Texas is apparently COVID central again. And I mentioned in passing to my my parents, yeah, we're probably gonna get a tree. The next day, I get this cardboard fold out on my doorstep, delivered from them, so that we can have a tree. So
I kind of need one.
Yeah,
I need one.
So for anybody who's not watching on the YouTube and who's listening on Spotify, Jedi has a quite large, full. It's to size, isn't it?
Cardboard. It's probably 6 foot tall.
Of a Christmas tree, fully decorated as well. So it doesn't even need decorating. Fully decorated, ready to go.
Yeah, and when the cats hit it and knock it down, it's easy to just put right back up. No need no fuss.
See, but it's funny because cats love cardboard. Like if that was in my house, it'd be destroyed either way by cats.
Yeah, no, ours hasn't chewed it. I think they're disappointed that it's not real and they're kind of shunning us.
This tree tastes like shit.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm with your cats here. I was gonna ask you where you chopped that thing down because I was convinced that thing was. I was like, yeah, I mean, at what time in the day did you just go out and chop?
He chopped it down at Office. He chopped it down at Office Depot.
Yeah, I just found out when you guys put him on blast there. I was like, wait a sec.
Did you move it around the house?
Smell.
Yeah. Do you move it around? Like, do you have it in different rooms, or is it just sitting there all the time?
So it's been in 3 rooms. Once was right here. Once was in the bedroom when my wife was asleep, so she could wake up to a tree in her face. And then just here in the living room. It's probably gonna go back in the living room after this.
You should put it outside when you're done with it, just to confuse your neighbors.
Not in the rain.
Put it up on one of their porches.
Yeah,
you can literally take Christmas with you wherever you go,
or burn it in your backyard like a bonfire. It'd be
a classic.
Does it fold up?
So the back part folds in. That's what holds it together, and then it just folds in half. That's it.
Perfect.
It was like the quickest and easiest setup. I was happy. I have a tree now.
It's perfect.
We live in 20.
What you can't see is it also comes with.
We live in 20.
There we go.
We live in 2021, and this is what we're talking about: is Jedi's cardboard cutout of a tree.
Yeah,
To be honest, we'll be talking about
Spider-Man spoilers. Just 1 hour of Jedi's tree.
We'll be talking about Christmas like things that we do at Christmas. One of my biggest bugbears is putting up the tree, and I think you might have just solved it for me for 2022. My family will disagree, but 100%.
I was about to say, I happen to know your partner, and although Mrs. Jedi might be okay with that, I doubt yours will.
If I get rid of our current tree and I replace it with that, then she's got no choice but to accept the cardboard tree.
I don't
I'm
think
pretty
that.
sure you don't know how this works.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I'll speak to you guys in a year on the podcast in 2022, and we'll see how that goes.
Or we
I
won't
won't have my games room, for example.
Or we won't, because you'll be dead.
Yeah, at least talking for a straw.
Yeah, I don't, yeah. That's definitely not going to be one for you, is it?
We'll see.
I quite enjoy. I might be the only one here, but I quite enjoy the process of putting the tree up. Not getting it out. Getting it out is always a ball. It's always in the loft.
So do you have a fake tree as well, right?
Yeah,
you
like
put
a
together?
fake one. Yeah, that you just build together. Yeah, I like it. I slam Mariah Carey on and then get to building the tree. I love it.
Is it
Yeah,
just
no,
you?
I can't agree.
No, it's like we all do it. This year I got all the kids involved and they all built it and stuff. So
Well, that's it.
Hardly
You
have
have,
to
you
do
have
it
little
anyway.
slaves, man.
yeah. Get yourself
Elves. At Christmas,
Trees
they're
up,
called
I propped
elves.
it up. Do the rest of it.
So,
I just sat on the couch watching Die Hard, like, come on, guys, you're doing great.
so you didn't actually put any of the tree up. You just watched your children do it. And
Yeah,
watched
I
Die
enjoy
Hard.
it. I enjoy the process. That's
I
what
bet
mean.
you do, because you're just a supervisor.
What's the point of having kids if not that? You know, you just let them do all the stuff and just like, yeah, go ahead.
That is a relevant point. So, do any of you ever had a real tree? Have you always had?
Oh yeah, up until like literally last year, like we always did the real tree.
Do you guys chop it down?
Never thought
Yeah.
about having a real tree. How is that? Is it? It sounds messy.
It's a complete mess, and it's sticky, and it like there's bristles everywhere, and most of the time there's some weird deformities in the tree.
Are you describing your Christmas tree having sex with Ryan? Weird deformity, sticky, bristles everywhere. This is sounding a lot like.
Yeah.
I'll have you know I'm very well kept. Shane.
I'm
talking
talking about having sex with Ryan on a Christmas tree.
Oh, okay.
Ryan had sex with a Christmas tree, is what we said.
Yeah. I think is that exactly.
All of the above. All of the above. I love Christmas, guys. What can I say? It's all about getting into that Christmas spirit and getting that spirit into me. Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful.
But so on a serious question on that, so did your family go and cut down their own tree, or was it like a purchased tree that someone else had already cut down?
So yeah, so I'm a two Christmases guy because of the mom and dad different houses, and so at my dad's, yeah, the divorce like special, like two Christmases. And so at my dad's place we would like, it was me and like my older sister would always go out with him to like the forest and cut down a tree, and then at my mom's place we would buy one at like a tree farm until like 2 years ago, and then she went the fake tree route, and I've helped her set that up.
Oh. So the reason I ask is because, and Mike and Ryan will back me up on this, like because obviously you see in films a lot in America people going and cutting down their own trees. The idea of going and cutting down your own tree in England is just absolutely not even a concept you'd figure out. Like you'd probably get arrested if anything.
Yeah.
We're also not allowed sharp instruments.
Well, that's in America we actually just bring out like our machine guns and just shoot at the bottom of the tree.
Exactly.
and then just let it fall down, and then we just like, take it from there.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't think of anything worse than going out and trying to cut my own tree down. I would probably be knackered before I got halfway through the tree. To be fair,
I mean, knackered before you got to the tree, let alone.
This is also true. Yeah.
Halfway through cutting it, got to find one first.
I've never had a real tree, but like the people that I know that do get real trees, they just go to like a tree farm and it's already packed up, ready to go. They don't go out there with a hacksaw and walk around a park until they find one that'll look nice in their living room. It's not how it works here.
Yeah, you bring out the Jason mask and then you put that on, and you just run around.
Do you guys at the tree farms, do they have? And this might be a very particular thing to me. The way that they pack them, which is like the tube with the net, and they shove the tree in, and it comes out. Whenever I go to those
the
things,
only interesting part about getting a real
yeah,
tree
every time I just want to throw myself through it and see really like how strong could this net really be, and will it hold me?
Oh yeah, it would definitely hold you, and like you could do it, and you would be stuck in there, and then someone could take you home on top of their car.
Some of those Christmas trees, have to weigh more than you do.
Yeah.
It depends. It's been a long lockdown for 2 years.
Had to be a big tree. Yeah.
So the other thing that I wanted to raise, and I spoke briefly about this before we started to record, is personal Christmas traditions. For example, and it's one that I've stopped doing now, but prior to my partner moving in with me, I used to live with my dad. After I'm from a divorced parents as well, and so me and my dad spent like most Christmases together.
We're stronger together.
All about 2 Christmases, but yeah, most Christmas mornings I'd spend with my dad for a good 10 years. It'd just be me and him, and so we had this like tradition of first thing in the morning we'd get up and we'd walk down to our local shop because it was a shop that was always open. We'd buy some alcohol and we'd have like a morning beer together, and that just kind of became our. It wasn't like get smashed or get drunk or anything. It was just a single beer, dad and son having a beer together on Christmas morning that we'd go and buy like that morning. And that kind of became a bit of a tradition that we did every year. And it's obviously one we've stopped now that he's moved out. But it got me thinking, like, everybody does Christmas a little bit different. So I'm interested to hear what little traditions you guys have got within your households or within your families that you do. Open to anyone to start.
I mean, I was going to say, like, for me, it's like, so I also come from a fractured home, so yeah, big up to everyone else. Yeah, so my dad used to live in Scotland, so it used to be quite difficult because I sometimes used to fly up to Scotland, sometimes I'd be down here. He did us a favour by going off to Australia, so I can't exactly pop round to see him for Christmas, which means that probably some of the stuff that you guys will speak about having Christmas at your dad's and then Christmas at your mum's and that sort of stuff, that's all been taken aside. I now just have Christmas in the UK, which is easier, because one of my gripes with Christmas is driving and traveling. You spend so long going everywhere to see everyone that you don't actually always get a chance to just relax. So sometimes it's just you get like 4 days off and that's it. But the other side is my nan is German, and they celebrate Christmas on Christmas Eve. And I don't know if any of you guys were going to sort of bring into that, but Europeans in particular, they celebrate Christmas on Christmas Eve, and then they do their presents on Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day is a whole other thing for them. So as a family, we now do it on Christmas Eve, and we have done for years, and it makes life infinitely easier because it now means that there's no, do I go to my partner's for Christmas Day? Do I go to my parents' for Christmas Day? It is my family Christmas Eve, my partner's Christmas Day. Now the benefit as well is that my partner's parents live just up the road from the pub that my parents go to. So I used to, on Christmas Day, go to the pub for a few beers and then stagger up the hill and rock up for Christmas dinner. And that was it. That's my tradition. Basically, drink on a Christmas Eve, open presents, breakfast, drink Christmas Day, stagger, drink and eat.
I don't feel like me and Ryan have given a good representation of what a British Christmas is.
I think you have. No, I think you have.
It's about what I expected.
I mean, yeah.
So what are your traditions? Alcohol?
So the pub's open on Christmas and like Christmas Eve and stuff?
Yeah, a lot of the pubs are open Christmas Day. A friend of mine's mum used to work as a chef in a pub, and she used to do sort of like 8 in the morning.
That's a weird sentence.
About she used to work about 8 in the morning till about midday, because they would do like Christmas breakfast and like a Christmas dinner, and then they would clock off about sort of 1 o'clock-ish and close up for the rest of the day so they could go home and see their families. But it'd be like a half day open. And then some do the other way around, like they'll be shut for the morning, but they'll open in the evening.
It's always quite nice in there, to be honest, because you wander in there, everyone's relatively happy. They're all in good spirits.
Jolly.
Well, it is. You start getting the locals. You're like, oh yeah. People buy you drinks. You're like, yeah, why not? Let the Christmas spirit get me another round. Crack on. So yeah,
honestly,
it's quite good.
Honestly, that's kind of I would say that's even more genuine Christmas spirit than like most of the things that you do with like your family and stuff. Like you just go in there and like are cool with strangers and everyone's having a good time. Like
but that's it. Everyone speaks to each other as well. You even if it's just someone that's brand new that's just walked in the door, people are genuinely just like, oh, Merry Christmas, have a great year. It is quite nice. If you go, I will get a caveat that if you go to the right pub in the UK. I think there are probably some pubs you can go to in the UK where you probably wouldn't get that.
No.
Definitely, but I've been to one on Christmas Day before, and it's quite nice. And like what you're saying, Ryan, because the one I went to, like it was a lot of the older boys and older like women that necessarily don't have a lot of family that live near them or don't live with anyone. So that was their way of spending time with people that they know and people that they love, because it was that they are the people they spend their time with, because they say it's their local pub and that's the people they see week in, week out. And their family lives off like 60 odd miles away and can't travel or whatever. 60 miles is not that far at all, but
to you guys it is. No. We learned that a long time ago, and that's something we need to bring up because like I go back home for Christmas, which from here is only like an hour and a half, and we go to my mother-in-law's, which is like an hour. But to you British people, that's like a 2-day trek. Like you have to take snacks and stop for extra gas.
It's the fucking Lord of the Rings trek.
Yeah. You guys do not travel at all. But like Mike will go to Germany, which to them is like across the street. And for us, it's like, yeah, we'll drive 20 hours to California. Like it's just a totally different concept to us for some reason.
No. If you're in another country, it's fine. If you're outside of 60-mile radius, you're dead to us.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I mean, to put it in perspective, Mike's probably less than 150, 200 miles away. Like I can get to him in probably under 4 hours. And the idea of visiting him outside of an event is ridiculous.
Yeah, I will drive that far for beer that I can't get in my state.
The concept of driving that far north for something that isn't like a wedding or a big event is like, no, I ain't doing that. That's far too far.
It's interesting. I would do that for beer as well. You're right, but not family.
Not Mike.
Yeah, not Mike. Sorry, Mike. If you were to tell me there was beer in the corner shop, yeah.
like right next to Mike's house, like there's like.
Mike just sits out the window, like waits, just for a glimpse of blurry Spider-Man Ryan.
If I don't make eye contact, you won't know I was here. That's it.
He's just like so sad.
All right, yeah, I drive like literally, and it's an hour and 45, like so probably about like, I would say close to like 100 miles, like, and probably
how long
90
do you
miles.
stay there?
Probably like 4 or 5 hours. It's my grandparents' house.
But wait, so you drive there, you stay there for 4 or 5 hours, then you come back again.
Yep.
So you don't even stay over or anything.
No.
We're driving an hour and a half. I'm there for at least 3 days.
Oh, yeah. See, no, I've done
the Hobbit's journey.
I've done 4-hour road trips to be somewhere for like an hour and a half and then drive 4 hours back. Like it's just
that's kind of crazy.
It is a little crazy, but it's cheaper than a hotel room sometimes.
But it's in that scenario though, mathematically it doesn't make sense. At least like driving for an hour and a half to be there for 4 or 5 hours, the ratio of the amount of time you're there to the amount of time you're driving mathematically makes sense.
But like literally a couple of weeks ago, we drove 4 hours for my nephew's 3rd birthday party, and then we drove back because we just wanted to be able to go. But at the same time, it's like that's a lot of driving, but we don't have lives, so it was fine. It was fine.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other part of it is if you got time. Like,
yeah, why not?
Yeah, it's fair. Absolutely
for me,
fair.
The thought of being in the car with not only Ellie but with children as well.
Oh my god,
no!
You did that to yourself.
Yeah. To put that into perspective, that is the same journey from where Shane and I live to Mike. It's about 4 hours. I would not drive 4 hours to spend an hour and a half at Mike's house.
I mean, I wouldn't either, but I would for my nephew. That's what I'm saying.
Right, I get it.
I mean, but it's interesting though you say that, because obviously you say about Germany and stuff like that. It's because it's actually quicker to get to Germany. You could be in a German pub in half that time from the UK.
That's insane.
Yeah, easily.
I mean, talking about sort of like how far you travel, we've got a friend who moved to a town that is probably no more on a good day with no traffic, no more than 35 minutes away. Since he's moved there, I think most of us have visited him once, and he's been there like 4 years.
He's just dead to you guys now because he moved.
Just like you're outside of the like 20 minute radius.
It takes me 25 minutes to get to work, and like that's not even a far drive.
To get to work. And I begrudge doing that.
And here's the thing: I used to live in LA, so my commute to work every day was an hour and a half, an hour and 45 every day.
Yeah, no.
Like so, I'm used to that, and people saying, oh yeah, 30 minutes away, too far out of the way. That's just insanity to me.
But then at the same time, if you're traveling that for work, surely you don't want to do that for personal reasons as well on your holiday. Because I don't know how long do you guys get off over the holidays?
For me, I usually got like 2 weeks off. But
oh no, I get like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day.
So you'll be spending 8 to 10 hours driving on a period where you might have only 2 days holiday. You spend sort of. Yeah, no.
That's what I did a few years ago when I was living in Northern California. We drove down. It's a 5-hour trek from Northern California to Southern. Stayed the day. The next morning, drove right back out.
Mad.
The spreadsheet disagree. It's mathematically incorrect.
Especially in LA.
It's also good to guilt trip. I mean, I'm tired. I should get extra out of this. Maybe some extra food, a goodie bag to get out of here, and.
Especially in LA too. Like you're probably driving an hour and a half just to get across the city. Like it's not even like you're going
miles.
Yeah, exactly. Like the freeways and everything are just that's how long it takes. Like you get in this packed assembly line and that goes by at like snail's pace.
The way that I relate to American traffic is always sunny when Dennis is commuting from the suburbs, and it's like that. That's just to me is what I believe traffic in America is like, irrelevant of where you are.
Yeah, it depends. It depends on where you are. Like I'm up in the Northeast, like in New Hampshire, and it's like it's open season on the highway. Like it's like the Autobahn, like in Germany. You just if you're in the left lane, it's like you're going as fast as you can. And everything's just wide open.
That's the best kind of driving, though.
I guess that's it then, though, right? Is that the driving on the roads in America is probably a bit different to here as well. I mean, the roads here are shocking. That's probably the thing that adds a lot of time for Shane and I is that we have to go around the infamous M25. We have to go past London, and that can be half of the journey, despite it being 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
Which is
in fairness, that's only if you were to do that on Christmas Day, though, it would be empty. So, like on Christmas Day, I don't think that's
never tried. Don't care enough about anyone far enough away.
That's fair. That's fair. So any other traditions or weird traditions for Christmas Day that now me and Ryan have given us our alcoholic views on the world?
It sounds like they just spend the time driving, Shane.
Yeah. No, I was about to say, that seems like their tradition is just to drive.
No, because
that's the beauty of Christmas.
No, because like if we have Christmas with like my mother-in-law, we'll drive there, which I said is like 45 minutes, and then we'll be there for the evening, and we'll come back, and then the next day we'll go an hour and 45 minutes the other direction and do Christmas. But we don't have a ton of traditions anymore. We used to have Christmas on Christmas Eve just because, like you said, like we didn't have to fight basically with family who gets who when. It was always just we went to this side of the family on Christmas Eve and this side on Christmas Day. Since I've joined my wife's side of the family, they have a tradition of watching a Muppet Christmas Carol on Christmas Eve and eating some bean soup. It is horrible after you've seen it several years in a row because now I'm like, okay, how do I get out of this? Like I even told them the other day, I was like, I will do anything to watch any other movie. I don't care what it is. I don't want to watch a Muppet Christmas Carol again. And then Christmas Day, we always go back home. It's the one time a year I see my aunt, most of my uncles. and that's the Italian side of my family. So we always do like homemade meatballs, like some Italian grandma recipe. And that, yeah, it's just like our Italian food meal. And then,
so do you not have traditional sort of? I mean, I guess that's probably a wider question to you guys in terms of what is traditional food.
It's kind of the same as like Thanksgiving, except for you have like ham.
Exactly like Thanksgiving.
Yeah. But honestly, I don't like Thanksgiving. So like to me, the best meal all year that I get is Italian Christmas food. That's the meal that I live for. So
that sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a massive fan of roast dinners, so Italian Christmas sounds like the best fucking Christmas.
Yeah,
that sounds amazing.
And plus, Becca's mom.
Drive 4 hours for that.
Yeah, my mother-in-law can't cook like at all, and she'll admit that herself. So usually for that, like earlier on in the month, we'll go to like a nice steakhouse or something and have a nice dinner. And then once it gets to be actual Christmas, it's like bean soup from a jar kind of thing. But that's really it. We used to go to like midnight mass when we were younger, when we actually were
me too.
The practicing Catholics. Okay, so that honestly was the best though, because you imagine being 8 years old. I got this bad boy, my pocket Game Boy.
Oh, dude.
I wish I had my Pokédex still. I wonder if I can find it. But like, imagine being 8 years old. You get this thing for Christmas at 8 o'clock at night, and then you get to stay up until midnight to go to church. And then by the time you get home, it's like 1:30, and you're all jacked up, ready for Christmas. You can't fall asleep. And then the next morning, you get to open more gifts. And it was the best. It was just so great. Like actually going to church. That's the only time I ever cared. And now it's like, well, you lose some of that though. Like when you get older, like you don't have to go to mass and you don't have to like do all these things, and you just kind of like lose that excitement for the next morning, where it's like Christmas now you're like, oh, my back still hurts. Doesn't matter what day it is. Like I'm still tired. Mike, I assume, and Ryan, I think you're the only two with kids, right? Like it has to be different for you now as you get older and have kids, and then start those traditions for them and see that kind of stuff. So hopefully you guys talk about that. But
it's more like a job, like
yeah.
Well, I got in trouble. I got in trouble last year because Christmas Eve is normally when I spend it with my side of the family. Last year we were unable to. We did our virtual quizzes and stuff like that. Typical 2020 stuff. And I can't remember who I stayed up with, but I stood up Christmas Eve really, really late, drinking loads of beer and playing games with people. And I woke up Christmas Day and I was quite hungover. My daughter was not impressed, and she still holds it to me to this day. She's like, "You were so grumpy and so miserable. You were such a Grinch." And I'm like, "Oh."
But is that much different than any other time, or was it just an issue because it was Christmas?
I think it just didn't help, because generally you have that drive home from my nan's, which it's miles away. It's literally like 20 minutes.
Oh, miles.
But it's enough to like wake you up, and you're like, yeah. I just conked out on the sofa.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is interesting. I mean, Mike, I don't know how for you, because it's different for me as I have one, so I think it's more manageable. There's two of us on one, so we're not outnumbered yet. But
Mike's got like 12.
Yeah.
He is. It's like the Hobbit.
Yeah. I've lost count at this point. I don't know anymore.
They just keep turning up. You're like, yeah, all right,
there's
come
a
in.
few.
You kind of look like me. Come on. All right.
Blue eyes.
It's the beard. Yeah. How old are you? 6? Beard? Yeah.
But like tradition-wise, for me, like I've always worked Christmas Day. Like I used to be working care work and stuff, so that job doesn't take a day off. It's just one of those things. So I've always done that. I've always been working and things. But up until the last 2 years, so it's sort of like now we're starting to make new traditions and things like that. One of them is the Muppets Christmas Carol movie. We do that to whack that on while we're putting the tree up. And
I just like walk around saying it's Marley and Marley like all the time, and I hate myself for it so much, to the point where I was singing harmonies, and my wife's like, "How do you know that? You've only seen it like 3 times." I'm like, it sticks in your mind and you can't stop.
So how many times did it take for it to go from being Mike, who still enjoys it as a new tradition, to being Cheese, who just fucking hates his life?
After the second year, I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, we watched this a week ago. I swear to God, it was a week ago, and we got to watch it again. And then we were like, oh, well, we should watch the extended cut. I'm like, why is there even an extended cut? There's like 3 new songs that get stuck in your head. It's not any better.
But yeah, so it's just kind of like a case of forging those new traditions now, and with my youngest getting to that age where she's starting to like believe in Santa Claus and that, it's kind of it's getting like exciting again for Christmas, whereas obviously with working and stuff, it just killed it for me. Like, I hated Christmas at one point, but it's getting to the point now where I'm just like, yeah, you know, this is exciting again. So
do you have an elf?
We don't have the naughty elf. No, the elf on a
all
shelf.
The while you can avoid it. All the while you can avoid it. It honestly makes December so much easier.
It's a big
if you see a little face appear at the door, please tell me, because I might end up ruining someone's Christmas very early.
I was thinking about that too. I was like, children viewers listening to Triple XP.
Yeah, Santa's not real.
Oh, you son of a...
I'm not editing that.
Wait, what?
I'm not doing any editing on this episode.
Bleep it out.
I'll put a spoiler. I'll put a warning at the beginning.
You edit the whole thing and like edit everyone who said that says Santa isn't real with your voice saying like Santa, and then it's your voice like is real.
And then you've got the director's cut, which is just Mike saying Santa isn't real over and over for an hour.
Well, it's actually right now I'm like the marketing director for a lumber company, and they have like a hardware store that every year they do like they have some guy, one of the employees dress up as Santa, and like they pull out the chair and like have all the kids like come up and like sit with Santa and everything. And like, I mean, I've only been there for like 6 or 7 months, so they're like usually marketing would like come in at like they had like the old Kodak like camera that prints out the photo. Like usually they'd come and like just take pictures and give them out to the family and everything. And I hadn't really like been a part of that since I was a kid going to Santa, and like, and also like I haven't really had younger kids around Christmas time, like around me during Christmas time for a while. And I was like, it was like quite the experience to like watch little kids like go up the stairs and Santa's sitting there in like the chair and just lose their brain because they're like, Santa is literally just like right. It's like seeing like the biggest celebrity, you know, and they're just like, what? He's just like there, like, and I was just like, it had me thinking like, man, being a kid rocked so much. Like you just believe that there's this old man who like flew around the world and just delivered presents to everybody, and there isn't all the crap when you become an adult and everyone's just like, yeah, this terrible stuff happens in the world every day, and you're like, I wish an old man just flew around the world and delivered presents to everybody.
It's like as Mike said, right? Is that especially once you start getting kids involved again, even if it's not your own, it's just like other, you know, families, kids, and stuff like that. That magic kind of starts to come back again, because it is that innocence and that naivety and that kind of magic that was around Christmas that you used to have. And, you know, yeah, there might be that anticipation for the presents in the morning, but you know, it is that kind of, it's a suspension of belief, right? And it's actually quite nice to see, even if it is a bit frustrating for the people that have to orchestrate it.
Yeah, I mean, this one boy, like, he written out his list and then printed it out 10 times, and just in case Santa lost it. So then he like sits on the guy's lap, who I knew, and he just gives him 10 different pieces of paper, like, just in case you lost the first one, I really want these, so here's the other 9 copies. And he's like, thanks, little boy. I'll put this in you know.
That kid's gonna be great. That kid's gonna be great at interviews someday, because he's gonna have all his resumes in that really nice folder and give everybody more than one just to make sure they remembered him, and they will.
Yeah, you watch 20 years down the line, he's going to be like Elon Musk sort of businessman.
And then Cam's going to be like, that kid sat on my friend's lap at work.
I screwed up then, because I literally took, like, at the end of it, just goes to show the jadedness of Christmas. I, of course, like, I'm like looking around asking if they need help or anything, and I take all 10 and just like throw them in the trash, and I'm like, isn't this just how it goes?
Oh my God. You're the worst person.
Where else am I going to put him? Like, hang him up in my office? Like,
yes.
Send him to Santa. Send him to Santa.
Santa, as Mike told me, Santa isn't real.
Did you at least
send
wait
them
for
to
them to leave
Mike?
before you threw them in the trash?
No,
It was like the trash.
Just
No.
deadpan in the kid's
fucking
eye, right in the
kid.
trash.
Took the trash barrel. At one at a time, too, not even all 10.
just get the
It's like-
lighter out.
There's an incinerator, yeah.
Should have had 11, kid.
Yeah. Mm.
Oh my god.
But my daughter's school actually messed up a wee bit recently because what they do every year is that the PTA, which is like the Parent Teacher Association, they send a letter
It's a
out.
worldwide organization, apparently.
There we go. I was going to say Jedi's nodding his head. I wasn't sure if that transcended the UK, but there we go. But basically, what it was a letter, and if you want a letter sent to your child from Santa, you had to fill in. So it was like the name is, they're in this year, they would like this, they've been naughty. Put it in. You'd set, it would get sent out to you in an envelope, so the kids couldn't open it. You'd then send it back. But what they did this year was they really screwed it up, and they kept them open and then handed it to all the kids. So all the kids were receiving these letters that were like, "We're going to send a letter back to you from Santa if you
Oh
fill
my
in all this
God.
information."
How
So
do you mess
all
that
of
up?
all the parents were fucking despair. Like, you go on Facebook, they're like, "I've had to have really awkward conversations with my kids."
They had one
like,
job.
They have. They have just like wiped out this entire school's belief in Santa. Luckily, like Millie doesn't read the letters. She just like threw it at me and it just went off to play Roblox. So I don't think she paid
Oh,
attention,
God.
fortunately.
That's
But
amazing.
then the other side, well, it was a massive cock up. But then on the other side as well, when it came to actually receiving the letters, they handed all the letters out to the wrong kids. So like
my
kids were
God.
receiving letters for other other kids off of their wish list. It's like, my name's not Stan. Like, like, how do you get something so fundamentally Christmassy so wrong? Like, you have one job. So yeah, we dodged a bullet on that one, but I imagine there's some parents locally that are probably having a bit more of a tough Christmas.
There's gonna be some kids somewhere like, "Dear Stan," I wrote to you this silly Colin. He was really pissed off at Santa.
Or really pissed off
Yeah.
at Stan.
Well, yeah. But yeah, there's a nicety when it comes to kids enjoying it. So it's lost the magic that we have, right? We've all grown up. We're all miserable bastards now.
Yeah,
Well, I
literally.
speak for myself, but yeah, we're all Grinches.
I've
I
got
just hate
on the head.
myself for it as well. Like,
yeah.
I just absolutely hate myself because like Christmas just pisses me off, and it's just like it's meant to be the most magical time of the year, and it's just like just that picture of camp is gonna stick with me now. Just torching like innocent children's like wish list to Santa. It's just the perfect image, just straight in the trash. Like,
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels so, I don't know, like the older you get, the more like Hallmark it gets, the less like magic it has, and the more like, what did you get? Did you send out the Christmas cards? It's like political, like
yeah.
Yeah.
you just have to send out the Christmas cards. Did you make sure you get these people and these people? Oh, did you get your presents for this person? And you're like, why? Where's the enjoyment? Where
But
am I
this is
like
the
having
thing.
fun?
This is the thing, and I don't think it's necessarily that we'll all just become like Grinches and grumpy dicks about the matter. It's just down to the fact that our priorities as an adult are different in that we all see how much it fucking costs.
I was just
Most
gonna
of us
say,
spend most
yeah.
of December looking at our bank accounts, going, how on earth am I going to afford the rest of December? I am going to be fucked in January. I am like minus however much in my account, and I still haven't bought presents for X, Y, and Z. And like they're going to be really annoyed if I don't get them a present. And I haven't bought cards. Cards are really fucking expensive.
Who buys
What is
cards for
this?
Christmas? We don't do that.
I mean, I don't, but my
Oh,
brother, like,
I don't think anybody does.
cards.
We've stopped doing cards as well now because it's just like you get so many and you get lost down this rabbit hole. But what we've
Yeah.
found as well is that because there's so many of my brothers and sisters and stuff like that, and we're now, there's kids starting to get involved. The one thing that we're doing is every year we do a Secret Santa. So we set like a £30-40 budget. So everyone
Nice.
gets one present as a family, and then we all just go out for a meal. So I only have to, rather than having to buy for like my mum, my stepdad, like my brothers, my sisters, and then their kids, we would rather have the money to give, to get some more stuff for the kids who genuinely enjoy it still. And then we have one present for someone else, they give their wish list, and then we have a good meal because it keeps the money down, right? Because otherwise it can get silly. silly expensive.
100%. And my sister, she does, since she's now got 2 little ones, 1 4 and 1's like 6-7 months, and she now basically says, we're not going to buy you a present, like as into me and my other half. She said, what we're going to do is we're going to buy you something really cheap from the kids, because obviously the kids want to, as well as receiving presents, they get the enjoyment of giving a present as well. So she's like, we'll buy you something. It'll be like a £5-10 gift, but it'll be chosen by the children. Obviously not the 7-month-old, because they're not going to be able to choose anything, but they'll choose something for us.
Thanks for explaining.
Kids work differently in the UK as the US. I mean,
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, no, they're drinking by the age of 2, so
that's why we go. That's why we all go to the pub. You see, they're all kid friendly. So
yeah, exactly. But then what she says to us is, because we're not buying you anything apart from the kids, only buy the kids presents. Like, we don't want anything. So we buy like my brother-in-law a bottle of beer and my sister some chocolate, but that's about it. It costs us no more than a tenner. And then everything else is just spent on the kids, because like you said, Ryan, the kids are the ones that like are excited for it, and they're the ones that like really get the enjoyment out of it, whereas a lot of us, it's kind of just the drudgery of spending money on other people.
See, and we do it differently too, because I kind of disagree with the kids enjoying it part for one reason.
Screw the kids.
You would.
Screw the kids.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No, so I have like 6 or 7, 8, I don't know, nieces or nephews. And the thing is like my parents, so like their grandparents and their other grandparents, like they get so much shit already that for me to spend, whether it's $10 or $25 on a gift for each of them at a young age is totally pointless, because they don't know it's from me. They don't care what it is. They may never even play with it. And if they do play with it, it's for like a couple of weeks, and then it goes into a box for donations, because I get so much shit all the time from everybody. So what my family does, so I have 3 siblings, and they each have their families, and they actually all have kids. We do like a traveling box. So like throughout the year, we spend like $100. So we're not allowed to buy the kids gifts, birthdays or Christmas. So we do like this traveling family box where, like I said, we have like $100 budget. We fill it of stuff with, let's say you want to do like a movie night theme. So you do like the candy, popcorn, a movie, whatever. And it just kind of eliminates the very, very high cost of buying birthday gifts and Christmas gifts for all these kids when it really doesn't matter. So yeah, great.
It's quite good.
It would be great. It'd be great for them to open gifts from us on Christmas, but at the same time, like it doesn't matter. And then once they get old enough, then I can give them like a specific book for them to read, or a beer when they're of age. Like that kind of thing makes sense later on. But when they're kids, they don't need any more shit. They already get the whole Santa thing, and that they don't need a gift from Uncle Cheese.
I really enjoy Cheese, the forethought there. Yeah, once they're old enough, I'm going to buy them a book.
I mean, I'm not gonna read it, but I'll hear it's good on Amazon. I'll buy it for them, sure.
when they're old enough, the books won't exist anymore. Cheese, it'll be fine.
I'll just slowly give them like my Lego sets and my Funko Pops and my action figures, my video games. That's priceless.
Yeah, don't do any of that. Keep those.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give it to them.
Just based off the name, does a Yankee swap ring any bells to the UK people?
It's probably totally different. It's probably a hate crime there.
It's called a Yankee swap.
Do you switch something with someone?
Do you
do
White Elephant?
Is that the White Elephant? Yeah.
Oh my god, we get into racist territory now. It's mad.
That's Hemingway, I think.
Take your rat out, Ryan.
Take your rat out.
Yeah, the Yankees. I mean, it's called a Yankee. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's probably different names for it, but we call it Yankee swap. And then I was like, oh yeah, I guess it says like Yankee American. I have no clue. But
it sounds like something I'm afraid to search on.
This is the wholesome Christmas episode, Mike. Please. There's kids listening.
Coming from the guy that just ripped up the Santa letter, and Mike outing Santa. Yes. Anyway, yeah, wholesome Christmas, guys. Merry Christmas. Ho ho ho.
Basically, like you, most of them, like you put like a money cap, like $20, and then everyone basically who's part of the Yankee swap, like you're all an individual, right? So even if you're a couple, like, the wife will or the spouse will do like a $20 gift, you'll do $20 gift. Everyone comes in, you put your names in, and there's like a little system, and then you don't put your names in, but they basically get numbers. Everyone draws a number, and it tells you and like basically you have all the gifts in the center, and like everyone kind of sits in a circle around the gifts, and then
Okay.
you basically, the first person takes their gift, like they just choose a gift and then unwrap it. And then like it's like some people will actually get good gifts, and then another thing is people get really like, you know, joke gifts, like, oh, this person got me like, I don't know, like a
This
dildo or something.
sounds like a wholesome Christmas version of Keys in a Bowl.
Maybe.
I mean, I
But
don't.
the like the competition comes in that the next person after like one, so the second person goes, they choose one, then they unwrap it, and they can choose to swap with anyone who's already gone. So like
Yeah.
you can get a good gift, and then the person after you can like do it
Steal
and
it.
then take your gift, basically. Like,
Yep.
and so you either want to be the like last person, or
Yeah.
if you're number one, usually they go again at the end and choose their own gift.
So when I many moons ago, I used to work for like AB InBev and Anheuser-Busch, and they did something similar. Like they had, because obviously being an American company, they brought over that kind of that feeling, and they called it Secret Santa Swap because they loved
Yeah.
their alliteration. So it was literally, you would get a name, you would buy something, and then there's no guarantee that anyone's going to get anything they wanted. And it was absolute carnage. I'm not gonna lie, because people were scrambling for the one or two gifts where the people actually who gave a shit would get a decent gift, and then the rest of it was just like sex toys and like thongs
Exactly.
and stuff like that. So the people were either scrambling for the beer, the chocolate,
Sex toys.
or sex toy. It depends. I mean, right? You just like, oh man, I really got this sex toy. I really hope no one takes it off of me.
My safe
It says
my
a lot
safe
about
gift
people's year.
my safe gift is always scratch tickets. I'm the
Yeah.
scratch tickets guy. So I just like will put $20 on scratch tickets, and then it's like, because it could be anything. It could be $0, or you could win like $1,000. So
Yeah.
most of
Can
the
you
time people are
imagine
fighting for the scratch tickets.
if someone had the scratch tickets, they were like the second to last person. The last person took the scratch tickets, and then they won $50,000. Can you imagine how gutting everyone in that process would feel?
Oh, especially like I've seen that happen. Not 50,000, but like 5,000, and it
Five.
was an uncle who took from like a kid, basically. And the kid was like going to college too, like couldn't use this money, and literally the uncle, like last one, takes the kid, like he was first, I think, so he took the kid's gift, won $5K off the scratch tickets.
Did he give him any? Do you know? Or did he
I don't
just,
know.
like...
I didn't follow up. I didn't ask.
We never saw him again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Been
that
on
was
a
like,
very
oh.
long holiday after that.
Yeah, exactly.
My-
Yeah, it gets a little toxic after that, because you're like, all right, now we're literally competing against each other for gifts.
My go-to for those kinds of things is always just like a giant like gift bag full of snacks, because you can get so much food for like 20 or 30 bucks. And then I usually just go for my gift in those games, and then I get a bunch of cool snacks. It worked this year, it worked last year. I'm gonna keep doing it. It's a good go-to.
Geez, have you ever thought of just buying the snacks for yourself?
I feel less guilty when it's for Christmas, so then I'll buy a little extra. I'm like, yeah, I do need those Oreos, and
I won these. I worked hard for
the
these
spirit of
snacks.
Christmas determined that I needed these, so I'm gonna eat them.
Yeah.
I have a good question.
Yeah, go ahead.
What do you guys ask for Christmas? Like, do you give people lists, or do they just know, like, Mike wants Ninja Turtle things and Shane wants, I don't know, wipes for his glasses? I don't know what you'd like. Practical things.
Peace and quiet, I asked for. Just peace and quiet.
Oh, God.
The amount of conversation sheets that we've had about things that
I
we
mean,
both like, and
video
you decide
games.
to go for wipes for his glasses.
You're a practical person, so like in terms of gifts, I guess I
true.
assume you do like the figures and stuff that you don't have to pay for with your own money. But at the same time, I don't know.
I have actually, to be fair, no, I actually never ask for that sort of stuff. I always do ask for more practical things that I don't want to spend my money on, like.
Well, then I wasn't wrong.
No, you're not massively like. I'm happy to spend money on figures. I don't want to go and spend 30 quid on a drill. So that's the sort of stuff that I'd ask for Christmas, because they're the sort of things I don't want to buy myself.
That's fair.
I can't imagine you want to buy glasses wipes though, Shane.
Oh, mate, trust me,
Right.
you fucking
Stocking
wear
stuffers.
glasses. Like, Camp and Jedi will know this, but glasses get so dirty, you have to wipe them all the time. It is.
They're right now. I'm looking at you guys through smudged lenses.
It is honestly the worst.
Blur.
A solid microfiber cloth.
There we go. That's on change list for next year. Is a solid microfiber cloth. You'll never have to ask for it again. That's it. It's just,
I'm gonna send you a microfiber cloth from America, made in China.
Please do.
It goes all the way over and all the way back.
I do just want to say that we've definitely hit the territory of just 6 like miserable old bastards talking about Christmas. When he's like, what do you guys ask for Christmas? And then the first one is some peace and quiet, and the second one is a drill set. I don't know.
What's the best Christmas present everyone's ever received?
Oh, I can go right off the bat and say the Nintendo Wii, right when it came out, like that blew my, and it was the season it dropped, and it wasn't available anywhere. But like my mom, she had the connections, she hooked it up big time, and by that she just lucked out, and I got the Wii like right when it dropped on Christmas, and got to play like Twilight Princess, Wii Sports, like
Wii Sports is so great.
Yeah, I forget something else dropped that I totally am blanking on. But man, that one was a good one. That was a good year.
And in a Christmas setting as well, it's great because people can actually get involved. Other people can like.
Oh yeah.
It's one of the few things I think that a family will look at a video game console and they'll kind of go, "Oh, it's a PS5 or it's an Xbox One." It's like, oh, who gives a shit? Because it almost feels inaccessible because you have to use the controllers, and especially if you don't play games. Wii, it's like hold this and just wave it.
Yeah.
And then they have a bundle of fun, and it's just there we go.
Oh my god, it was a hit of the whole because we had family over, and like the Wii was just for its time like just mind blowing. Like whereas like the adults would be like, you can play golf on this thing, like what? Or, like like everyone wanted a piece of the action.
It's all about the people that are squatting then. Skiing.
I'm there like it didn't register.
And the people in the background just go, "Whoa!" I would say my best gift that I ever got. We were pretty lucky growing up. I mean, we didn't get a lot of gifts or a lot of toys and stuff like throughout the year, but somehow my parents figured it out at Christmas. And one year we got like our Nintendo 64, and then a couple years after that we ended up with a PS2, and those were probably two of the best days because here, really, I don't think Walmart is even open really on Christmas much anymore, but like Blockbuster always was open on Christmas Day. So there was nothing better than getting a new console, and then the only place you could really go is to the place to rent a new game, and then you just go back home and you sit in your pajamas for like 3 days eating candy and playing a new game. There's nothing better than that. That was the best couple days of my life, probably.
So nothing's changed now except for the fact that you might just be relying on Boomerang. And shout out to Boomerang for you guys.
There's no there's no Blockbuster.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I can name a best gift, because, but I can say I know the one that I know the one that I was most hyped for. Like, if there was one gift that I can say I was absolutely most hyped for, and that was a toy of the Millennium Falcon. It was like a massive one that you could take the back of. And I think the reason I was most hyped for it, a little bit like what they've done with Spider-Man, about a month before Christmas, my dad was like, "Yeah, come have a look at this present we bought you, but you're not allowed to take it out of the box. I'm just going to show you it, just because so you know." But then I spent a month going like, I know what I'm going to fucking get, but I've got to keep it a secret from Mum. But I know what it is. And by the time I got it, I was so fucking hyped to play with this fucking massive Millennium Falcon. Oh yeah, overjoyed. It just built up so much over that month that I was going to get this Millennium Falcon.
Is that why they got divorced?
No, there was a multitude of reasons for that.
The Falcon was what it was the Scarlet broke
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, really, that was the only thing that made that Christmas prosaic. Everything else about that Christmas was just really bad.
Hey, I was in a happy place.
His next gift was divorce papers.
Yeah. We're no longer living together, but here's your Millennium Falcon, so crack
Your
on.
dad just wanted to piss off your mom so bad that he let you sneak peek at the best gift you're gonna get, because the gift she was gonna give you was 2 Christmases, but that doesn't translate so well into a box.
If I can digress slightly, and we'll go back, I promise. But if I can go on a tangent about the 2 Christmases thing, Like everyone always says, "Oh yeah, but you get 2 Christmases." Literally, they know that the wealth divides.
Yeah.
It's not like
Yeah,
it's not
true.
like, but they contain the same amount and you get 2 Christmases. Now it's like, well, you might want to ask them that for your dad, and then maybe go for this for your mom. It becomes way more complicated, and it's not as amazing as it sounds.
And it's less
You privileged couple parent people. Sorry for me.
It's
also,
less.
Go after you, Chase.
It's less fun the older you get. I mean, I'm super lucky in my family because my parents, one's remarried, like they've gone their separate ways several years ago, but like now we still celebrate as a whole family because of the grandkids. So that's pretty cool. So like it goes like awesome 2 Christmases as a kid. Then you're like, that means I have to go a second place, drive to a second town, go to a second dinner.
Exactly.
And then it's like, oh, now they're all back together because grandkids. And you're like, all right, this isn't so bad.
Yeah, and you're like, I just got Twilight Princess for Christmas, and I want to just play that all the time. Instead, now you have to drive to your dad's house.
And it's exactly that. And like when
20
you're
minutes.
well, when you're a kid though, like you say, you get 2 Christmas days, and that's exciting. Like you'll get a Christmas day with your dad and a Christmas day with your mum, and you'll get like 2 dinners. And yes, you do get. It's not so much I think about the fact that you get 2 lots of presents, but you get 2 lots of that excitement of opening presents. Whereas, like you say, as an adult,
Santa comes twice.
I've now got my parents are fractured. My partner's parents are fractured. So I'm now over the case.
That's such a better word.
Over the course of 3 days, I now have to visit 4 different households. It just becomes effort.
This is going to be potentially a controversial comment here. I really enjoyed Christmas 2020 because it was for me at least, like it was me and my partner and my daughter, and it was very, very much within our like remit and our control and our house, and we actually got to spend time together. We weren't traveling, we weren't worrying about where we were going, we got to do our own thing, we got to eat what we wanted. Like 2020 sucked. Like it was bad, and it was a real shame to not be able to spend that with people, but it was nice to have Christmas Day without the faff. And I don't know. It feels bad to say it because it came from such a crappy situation, but it negates all of this, right? That we're speaking about, and it's one of the things that actually coming out into this year was we used to get to my partner's parents for breakfast, or they would come round, and I've said I don't want to do that because I enjoyed that slow start and that kind of spending that time together. And actually, I think that's something that's good that's come out of that, and it potentially mitigates some of the things that you guys are saying about going to A to B to C to D and then back to A for whatever, and then back to B because you forgot your presents or whatever. It's gone. It's done. You don't have to worry about it. Bring on lockdown 3.0.
What I'm hearing is that, I mean, no one's talking about how Santa may have actually created COVID so that we all could relearn the values of Christmas.
The spirit of Christmas,
Yeah. He came around and just spat on everyone at Christmas. Spread that COVID cheer.
Anyways, back to the amazing gifts for the people who didn't answer.
Coming away from Santa spitting on people.
I got the PlayStation. I remember getting the PlayStation 1, and that was a great moment.
Oh yeah.
I had micro machines with it as well, which was great. And me and my sister played that to death, which was great. I mean, that was a long time ago.
That was my first console too, actually, PS1. That I got. I think I got that for Christmas as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always grew up as a Nintendo kid.
Same.
So it was always like SNES or SNES for you American folk.
You called it a SNES?
Yeah, it's a SNES.
Where's the Z?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, where's the Z?
No, with a Z.
It's a silent Z.
With a Z.
Yeah.
But yeah, one year I got a N64. But it was the same year that we had a power cut. So I remember
That's upsetting.
Yeah, complete utter power cut, so I couldn't play it at all. But still,
so we're talking about. I was gonna say we're talking about best gifts on the most depressing Christmas ever. I've got this amazing gift that I now can't use.
Yeah, it was rough, but I had to drive to like a relative's house to play it, and had Christmas over there. But yeah,
at least your parents aren't divorced.
Yeah.
It's not as cool as you think.
We are broken children.
But But yeah, I remember sort of waking up and going downstairs and being really excited to open the presents because when you're that age, you kind of wake up at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
and think it's a reasonable time to get up and,
Yep.
and get presents. So what my mum used to do, and I really respect this as like being an adult now. She used to take the handle off the living room door.
I honestly thought you were about to say your bedroom there, and I was like, oh my god.
Either would be great, actually.
Yeah, so she used to take the handle off the door, so we didn't go down and open the presents without her seeing it, kind of thing.
That's amazing.
And she also didn't want to go really early.
I mean, she could have made her life a lot easier by just having a lock installed that only she had the key for. Just from a long-standing point over the years, that would have made her life easier.
Lock, like, it's just the Christmas lock.
Yeah, right? Yeah, but surely that's easier than removing the handle every year.
I don't know. It's the same amount of work, though, right? Getting a lock put on the door.
No, because once it's in once, that's it. You just need to use the key once a year.
But then you also have to justify it to everyone every time they come around. It's like, why is there a lock on the living room door?
That's the Christmas lock.
It's the Christmas lock. It's got a little bit of tinsel on it just to sort of make it look less creepy and less weird. But that's the Christmas lock.
Exactly. Seems reasonable.
I think I would rather go for taking the handle out.
I mean, I'm not talking about like some sort of dodgy bolt lock. I'm talking about a key lock that's built into the door, so you wouldn't even notice it's there. So like a key lock that's built into the door that only she has to then lock the door once a year.
At that point, it's just a kid cage.
Yeah. Yeah. Because all it takes is that one time for them to just be messing around in the living room. Like, that's it. I've had enough. Done. The temptation's there. I guess the temptation's still there to take the handle off, though. I guess, but there's a little bit more work required in taking the handle off than putting a key in the lock. But
I mean, coming away from locking children in rooms, Jedi, what's your best gift?
The best gift, I actually got it twice. When I was a kid, I was very much a Ghostbusters fan, and there was this Ghostbuster house that came out that it was like 3 stories. It had the pole where you could put the figures on, and it would slide down. There was an opening on the top where you could put the slime in, and the slime would go down all the floors. And I remember, as a kid getting that, I had to hunt for my present that my grandfather hid. It was just a really cool experience. Cool. And when I finally found it, it was just the coolest thing. It's actually back there behind the tree a little bit. You can kind of see it peeking out from there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because as a kid, of course, you lose shit and people sell stuff and your parents throw it away. I told the story to my wife, and I would say our second or third Christmas, she found a replica and got me that one. So it's just like a double whammy. That has so much memories and so much meaning for me.
Yeah, that's crazy.
On the note of Ghostbusters, Jedi, my 4-year-old nephew, absolutely obsessed with Ghostbusters at the moment. Loves the original movies. My sister took him to go and see the new movie that came out the other week. So we've bought him. It's literally this massive remote control Ghostbusters car. And I'm so excited for him to use it, not just because I know he would enjoy it a lot, but because it is the loudest thing I think we've ever purchased him. And it is going to drive my sister up the wall, and I am so excited for her to have that Christmas day of just hearing that wow, wow all around the house all day long.
The presents that can enjoy the kid as well as annoy the parents. Yeah. Those are just chef's kiss.
You end up weaponizing the presents, right? Towards it's just. I mean, my sister's done it to me plenty of times when my little girls had like a drum kit. She's just like bang, 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 and she just had a little girl. Little girl's only 3 months old, but I'm biding my time. And there's going to be sort of 3-4 years of probably the noisiest stuff that I can find going her way. Tamagotchis constantly beeping.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Constantly going on.
You want to find that sweet spot, though, that's between it being super noisy, but also something that the child is going to love so much that they're never going to put it down. It's that sweet spot of something they're obsessed with, but also well noisy.
Because the parent can't lose it.
So last year I bought him we bought him this like T-Rex, and you press the back and it roars, and again it's really loud, and he was obsessed with dinosaurs at that point, and it got to the point that my mum rang me and was like, I fucking hate you, why did you buy him this? Like every day, all day, it's just roar constantly. She was like, why is the batteries not gone? It's been 12 months.
Get him another one.
So we're coming up towards the end of the episode, but I do have one last question I want to raise to you all, especially as, I mean, 2 of us are in Christmas jumpers, but with Gremlins being up
yeah,
there,
he's got it.
3 of us are in Christmas jumpers. Yes,
2 Christmas jumpers, 1 Christmas.
That's a Christmas
right?
T-shirt.
Yeah. What about like what about
Kev,
like a cardigan?
you work for a lumberjack company as a director of marketing, and you're wearing a lumberjack. You can't be more stereotypical than you've tried.
True. I actually almost wore their like big coat too, but then I was like, I'll put on the Ed I'll put on the Ed.
You could
Yeah,
pan
he's gonna sit
across
there
and
with an
there'll be
axe.
like, you can pan across. There's an axe in the corner. Like, that's it.
So my question to each of you to finish off for our listeners: what is your most recommended Christmas film? What Christmas film would you recommend to anyone to watch? If we start with Jedi and work our way around.
Scrooge. Bill Murray at his height. I loved it. It was it's my favorite take on the Christmas Carol. I love it.
That is has everybody seen that one?
I have not.
I think once when I was younger.
It's Bill Murray doing it with Bobcat Goldthwait or whatever. Just it's just it's fun, and we watch it every year. I showed it to my wife. She now watches it every year. Her family watches it. That's the tradition.
Also, can I tack on Christmas song as well? If there's because every year the Christmas songs come on all of December. Is there one that you actually like? You don't get tired of and that you actually enjoy?
I absolutely love Last Christmas. Oh, it's not my turn. Sorry.
Come on, geez.
Yeah,
I didn't know we were doing one at a time.
I was gonna say Last Christmas, but I don't want to stomp on. No, what is it? It's that stupid one. I want a hippopotamus for Christmas.
Oh, I hate that song.
That one. It's just it's so annoying, and every time it comes on, my wife rages. Anybody in the car wants to turning that shit to 12. we're gonna listen to it. If I can hear it on repeat, yes.
Oh, that's up there with Feliz Navidad, honestly.
Feliz Navidad's my favourite. I love it.
Get out. And can we mute it? Can we get rid of
I tell you for why though. There was I can't remember his name, but there was a YouTuber years ago who did Feliz Navidad, but in the voice of Skeletor from He-Man, and he added loads of lyrics in where it was Skeletor singing Feliz Navidad to He-Man, and every time I hear that song, that's all I can think about, and I just sing it in that voice. It's great. Camp, then, what about yours? Film and song?
Bill, I mean, I'm an Elf guy, a huge Will Ferrell fan, and there's a ton of like hidden. I mean, Zooey Deschanel, like before she really blew up, and just a ton of amazing actors, and like also there's a crazy story behind that movie too of how it got made. And it's one of those ones that I've watched, I'd say upwards of 10 times because it's like that's my movie for the family to watch once every Christmas, like Muppet Christmas Carol. And but I can't get enough of it, honestly. It's just like it's so good.
I hadn't actually seen that until about 2 years ago.
I watched it last night, literally.
It's pretty good. Yeah, like I feel like it's a great take. It's like a great modern take on like a Christmas, like where with Will Ferrell like at his peak.
At his unknown, really. He was pretty much new at that point.
Yeah, well, I think they were gonna cast someone, or it
was Chris Farley. They wanted it to be a Chris Farley movie.
Yeah, exactly.
If you haven't watched the movies that made us, watch Movies That Made Us on Netflix. That episode, it's a great episode.
Yeah. I think that's maybe what I had watched, but and then it was like Will Ferrell was like coming, kind of like he was like kind of coming on the rise on SNL, and they were like, we'll just like I don't know, give it to him. For the song, I honestly to the UK homies, anyone close to Liverpool would know that I'm a huge Beatles fan, and so I would probably say that the John Lennon like So This Is Christmas.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, also George Harrison's 50th anniversary, I think like today for his first album.
Nice.
Chase?
I've got 2 movies just because they're very nostalgic, and I watch them all the time. Home Alone, the original, and The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. I've watched so many times. Even this year, I watch it all the time. As for songs, Last Christmas by Wham, I don't know what it is. It's just like as soon as those chords start in the beginning, you just get so happy. And I've got this awesome shirt that's got them on the front, it just says Wham across it. I should have worn it, but I can't fit into it because COVID. But yeah, those.
I mean,
give it another next Christmas. Next Christmas.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, for me, I'm going to go next then, because what makes you prefer Home Alone 1 to Home Alone 2? Because I prefer 2. That's my Christmas one.
I think just the Christmas in their house, like that homey feel, where it's just kind of like that familiar feeling, like it's his house, his neighborhood, like it's his domain, and I don't know. I just think that one's better in general. But
good point.
You're in my domain.
Yeah.
But number 2 has Trump.
Yeah.
That's
so number 2 is the one in New York, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you want me to say number 2 was my favorite because Trump was in it? Is that what you were prying for?
Hey, I don't know, maybe. I want to out you. It's fine.
What about you?
But no, I prefer number 2. Fairy Tale in New York by the Pogues.
We were in Manchester this weekend, and there was just like some people busking. That's one of the things I love doing, is going to like a big city, usually Liverpool. But we went to Manchester and just like watching the buskers and stuff, and it's proper Christmassy. Like, it's such a good song, that as well.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's just
when the buskers doing it solo, or they have a duet going.
Yeah, it was a duet. Yeah. They did a great little version just on the streets of Manchester. It was really good.
That's cool.
It made me feel warm and Christmassy inside.
Did you say a favorite movie?
No, I was just tacking on to what Ryan said about that song. But I can say a movie.
Yeah, it's yours.
I was so confused.
It's Die Hard. Die Hard for me.
Die Hard's a good one.
Yes.
And I will.
Do we agree that that's a Christmas film?
I will argue with anyone.
Yes,
it is a Christmas film.
It's not a Christmas film. It's 100% a Christmas film.
100%.
Like one of the argues, I always see it online, and I always have to say that, like, because they say it's like a summer movie because it released in summer, but like so did like Miracle on 34th Street. That was like wasn't released at Christmas time. So shut up, anyone listening.
There's too much evidence that it is a Christmas movie to go against.
The writer said it was a Christmas movie, so.
But like,
he literally saves Christmas Day.
Exactly. Like, the argument is, what do you need to have it as a Christmas movie? It has a Santa, it has Christmas music, it's set at Christmas, it has a Christmas moral at the end. Like, what more do you need to make it a Christmas movie? Well, it's more of a Christmas movie than Home Alone.
But that's
whoa.
But that's it though, right? Is that because some people could deem a Christmas film as the film that's released at Christmas. So Spider-Man could be a Christmas film. No. If you go by the time it's released, irrelevant of it.
Everybody needs to calm down.
Well, there is that one scene.
There is one. For Spider-Man.
Whoever those people are, Ryan, they're wrong, and that's all that we need to say on the matter.
No, what I'm saying is that it doesn't matter when in the year it's released, because it's when the film is set, right? So you could have a Christmas film released in March or June, and it's still a Christmas film because it is around Christmas. It's not because it's not released at Christmas. It doesn't make it a Christmas film.
It doesn't necessarily need to be explained. Yeah, it doesn't.
Sometimes it needs to be explained clearly to the people, the naysayers that think.
Ryan said a lot of things in this episode, and this might be the hottest take. Like, I might just cut. I might just cut him out.
Do it. Do it. I dare you.
I think it also goes to like, and I agree that it is a Christmas movie, but I think that the people who do not agree, it has to do with the contents of the film and how like there's no action Christmas movies out there, like, and so they can't
Jingle All the Way.
Their brain, in their brain they can't put together like, like Bruce Willis, like, like killing a ton of people and Christmas in the same in the same note.
I mean, my argument would be, why is there not more Christmas action movies?
Yeah.
Krampus was
why
kind
is
of
that not a thing?
Krampus was kind of a Christmas action-y horror movie. That was pretty. Gremlins was kind of action-y at times, I suppose. That's a Christmas movie. I mean, there's enough of them, but you're always going to go back to the sappy, warm Christmas tales of Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm. Before Shane finishes up, sorry, can I ask the American guys? Have you guys watched Love Actually?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that translated the same as a Christmas film across the pond.
I think that's a great Christmas film.
That's the one with like they get like the huge cast, right? And it's like
Liam Neeson and all those guys.
Like I think Hugh Jackman or something like that is in it.
Or Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant. Hugh Jackman.
Alan Rickman.
We'd love to see Hugh Grant as Wolverine, but
that's a very UK like from what I understand, like that's like a very British thing. Is like they like is the like ensemble cast on the really dramatic like movie.
Yeah. Sorry, that was the reason I asked, because I wasn't sure if it had traveled that far, even 20 years to the day.
Yes.
Mike, what's your?
We have Harry Potter too, in case you're wondering.
What? That's another cast in itself. Don't believe that for a second.
Yeah, Shane, the song would be "Don't Let the Bells End" by The Darkness. I think it's such a fun, like ridiculous, like even with the music video as well. Like it's just so ridiculous. Like Justin Hawkins in his full leather spandex outfit, just telling, he's just like, "Come on, kids!" It's just like so Christmassy to me. I don't know. It's just ridiculous, and it's the one of those songs that annoys people when you put it on as well. Like, oh, not this.
100%.
Like, yes, turn it up.
Mine. I mean, as you heard earlier, Feliz Navidad is quite clearly up there as the best song. It's a great song. And that is a song that also winds people up, and I love it.
Yeah.
I would have gone for Die Hard, but as that's been taken, the other film that we watch pretty much every year is A Nightmare Before Christmas. Fantastic film. Arguably both a Halloween film and a Christmas film, so you can watch it on either. You can't watch it before Halloween though, because that's a crime. It's specifically in that date between Halloween and Christmas. Any other time of the year is illegal. Those are the rules. I didn't write the film. I'm not Tim Burton. That's just what I heard.
Tim Burton didn't write it either, but it's okay.
Yeah. I don't know who wrote it.
That's another movies that made us.
It's very Tim Burton looking.
Inspired.
Anyway,
Tim Burton inspired.
Yeah, that's the one. It's a great Christmas film though.
Signed for by Tim Burton.
But yeah, I mean that's been the episode. Mike, do you want to do the honors?
Yeah, holy shit, yeah. That was the Christmas special, I guess. Thanks for the guests to come in. If you want to find them, the bunch of streamers are all on Twitter and everything. You've got Krillian Jedi. He streams all the time, pretty regular.
More than any of us.
Yeah.
Streamer,
the streamer.
We've got Camp, who hopefully will be returning to stream soon.
Come back, Camp.
Yeah, we miss you, man.
Yeah, no, I think the plan is definitely to. I will be.
Good. Cool. But yeah, that's been the episode, and yeah, thank you very much. Bye. Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Feliz Navidad.
Triple XP.